yeah, my friends. Yeah. Look at this feller here, right? Y'all know this. Y'all know this guy? You don't know who this guy is. A whole lot of people didn't know who he was either when he started this campaign of his, right? So it comes out that Trump's father was a huge fan of Hitler and strongman dictatorship leadership types and anyway. So he was a huge believer in it. And we are part of what makes us us is our upbringing and what we're exposed to as children. And that's one of those things. So if young Donald Trump was exposed to repeatedly a lifetime of his father emulating and praising the worst leadership people ever, it's not really hard to see how he translates that to his current system now. And there's enough of our fellow Americans who are disconnected with a lot of this and don't understand just how much the comparisons matter with some of Trump's latest bullshit. And I've noticed that does Trump believe half that? I don't think he believes most of it. I think he believes whatever he says matters until it doesn't matter anymore. Mostly it's about him staying in power and him being idolized as whatever the fuck he thinks he ought to be seen as. But the similarities here are not uncommon or unusual, or I should say, or are noticeable enough. I guess they're so unusual that they leap out at lots of people. A lot of people who've listened to politicians spew hateful stuff for their entire life just says, oh, he's just talking smack. Oh, he's just talking shit, blah, blah, blah. This starts to pop up and people start going, I don't know. Except for about 35% of the country who embraces this stuff and they love it. This is what they want America to be. This is what they think. They think America should be. That's because they never lived under an actual dictatorship. They've never studied or read books about people who did, or seen the movies and the documentaries of all the horrific shit that came out of the Nazi regime. They just see what coulda, shoulda been, coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? So when you start hearing this shit, so he starts talking. It's not the first time though. Oh, we have to root out the vermin. Okay, yeah, that didn't sit well with a lot of people. Still has not sitting well. Blood of tainted the blood of the country, all these refugees. The man's talked about, we need to just build some camps in the desert. We'll just ship all the homeless to the camps. You think that's where it stops? Oh no, we need to shut the borders. What do you mean shut the borders? You don't mean to shut the borders. That's not what you mean. Everybody says that, especially Republicans. Say what you mean. Don't just say the stupid shit. You know damn well you can't close the border. Do you know how much freaking money, trade, comes across the Mexican border? We'd be in trouble financially. Maybe that's one of the reasons the MAGA group wants that border shut down, because they literally want it, lock the gates, shut down. Because it'll put a massive bullet in our economy if we do that. We can't afford to do it. It's the same thing about our culture and our society. We need immigration. There are far too many jobs that the majority of us Americans are never going to be desperate enough to do. And at least not do well and do for any length of time. You don't think so? You go spend a summer. I'm just saying a summer. You're 40 years old. I want you to let's go spend a week picking cabbage and lettuce heads, sorting fruit and doing a lot of that sort of stuff, because a lot of these the ones coming across the Mexican border, that's the jobs they're going to go do. It's ironic that so many of them are finding jobs in, construction, considering how good the construction pays. What that tells me is there just isn't enough good old-fashioned Americans to fill those positions. They have to be filled somehow. Yeah, we need better controls at the borders. No, we do not need tens of thousands of people literally trooping across the border every day because we're afraid to say, look, go through the procedures. We have procedures and processes for a reason. We're just being overwhelmed and they're not being dealt with. So Trump's answer is what? Close that border and kill a trade? Or invade Mexico and South America? We got to go after the cartels. That would be the excuse to use to invade Mexico. It's not the first time. Oh yeah, Mexicans, y'all down there in Mexico, best beef up on your history. America's come at you more than once. Don't think we won't do it again, because if we get the wrong leadership, we will. And there's no, in this day and age, the very lesson we're trying to, we're trying to teach Putin and Russia about invading Ukraine goes for all of us. We have no business even talking about, oh, we're going to go do this. Okay, you want to do the cartels? You take on the cartels, but you get their government, the local governments involved with it too, because that's the right thing to do. And if the local governments won't comply at that point, then what do? Blockade that country so nothing can come in and out of it that you can't see. But how long do you do that? All you have to look is the abject lessons we're seeing at Gaza today. How do you do that? I have answers to a lot of that. I don't know that they're good answers, and I know there's a lot of people who wouldn't like them. No offense to the world governments at large, but America's got it has got the best, or the damn near the best, special forces in any country in the world. You want to go after the cartels? Let's take them out. Let's drop the Rangers on top of one of their, on top of a couple of their chateaus. Start with that. Find out where their leadership hangs out. That's my answer. As for, Trump, well, we could send cruise missiles. You know what? It's a good thing I'm not a president. I have no qualms about doing that. I apologize to the Panamanian government, or the Guatemalan government, or whatever government. I said, look, heads up, dudes. We know these people are these people are cartel, and we're coming to stamp paid on their. But at the end of the day, what does that achieve? He just gets rid of the known players. More people step up and replace them. It doesn't solve the problem. The drug problem in America is a problem because we want the drugs. Americans want the drugs. Somebody's going to provide them. Address that problem. Address availability. Okay, you want to ruin your life? Here, it's legal in America. Legalize it, ruin your life. That's the American way. Give you the options, right? Or the opposite. You become even more draconic when it comes to fighting, drug addiction and the fallouts from it at home. I'm not saying you don't target the sources where they're coming from. You do. But there are ways of doing this. But these types of Hitler would, we know what Hitler did. Trump will follow Hitler. Because the people Trump is surrounding himself will make damn sure of that. This is what happened with Hitler too. Hitler didn't do everything by himself. He had a whole lot of people with like minds with their own agendas involved in all that. I'm just pointing out to you. And like I said, so Trump and the references to Hitler, it goes back before the recent verbiage. Wasn't all that long ago we had him remember this? About a year ago? Whole lot of people at these Trump rallies start, let's give the finger, give the number. We're number one. 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 We're one. You see, we go from this to this, or from this to this. What's the difference? Honestly, the Heil Hitler salute, or we're number one. What's the damn difference? The symbology's the same. If they attach it to the movement, they're identical. It's just another reference to the Nazism and the Hitler issues that's the problem. They were quick, Trump's handlers were quick to try to shut that down. I remember there was a thing about it. They made a deal about it where they were actually, telling people not to give the finger. You know, as opposed to giving Trump, I'm all for giving Trump as many fingers as you fucking can, but this sort of thing, no sorry, no sorry. That reeks too much of the damn Nazi bullshit out of World War II. Right there in the videos, dude. You're looking at the fucking pictures right there. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Think about it. Just think about it. Is this really the where you really want this place to go? You think it will end well? You name one dictatorship, my friends, that has ever ended well in the world, ever ended well. I'm just saying, nobody ever is going to deal with that sort of crap. And somehow I've got the wrong damn button. Anyway, till next time. It just irritates me to no end.